Welcome back. Turning to Texas with new developments on the redistricting showdown that's playing out in the Lone Star State and all across the country. Texas Republican Governor Greg Abbott filed an emergency petition with the Texas Supreme Court to remove House Democratic Caucus Chair Gene Wu from his seat. Now, Wu is one of dozens of Texas Democrats who fled the state to block the start of a special legislative session and a Trump-backed plan to draw new lines for the state's congressional districts. Abbott's move comes as Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton says he will ask courts to declare some Democratic seats vacant if members don't return by Friday. And at the White House yesterday, President Trump said he may get the FBI involved. Look.
The FBI get involved.
Well, they may have to. They may have to. So a lot of people are demanding they come back. You can't just sit it out. You have to go back. You have to fight it out. That's what elections are all about.
Meanwhile, the group of Texas House Democrats who fled to Illinois were evacuated from their hotel after receiving a bomb threat earlier today. The lawmakers and their Democratic allies say they will not be backing down and pledging to take their fight nationally. Here's DNC Chair Ken Martin.
We are not going to roll over on this. We are going to fight with every single lever of power. This is not the time for one party to, play by the rules and tie one hand behind the back. We are done playing by the rules. We are going to fight fire with fire. And if they want a showdown, damn it, we're going to give them a showdown.
Texas State Democratic Representative Jolanda Jones. She is one of the Democratic lawmakers who have fled the state. Representative Jones, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Hey, Kristen, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, a lot to discuss, and I want to start with this bomb threat that was made toward Texas Democratic representatives who had fled to Illinois, like yourself. This happened earlier today. What can you tell us about what happened?
So first of all, I don't want the story to be about this. So all I will say is, yes, it happened. We're safe, and it is not stopping us. We are marching on.
Do you have any security concerns, though?
I feel safe.
Okay. Well, we will move now to the latest out of Austin. Of course, Greg Abbott, your governor, is trying to get the chair of your caucus removed from his seat. Ken Paxton is threatening to start removing members from their seats. Is this going to have an impact on you and your fellow Democrats?
No, it's not. First of all, neither the governor nor Ken Paxton have the power or authority under Texas law to remove us from our seats. Let's be clear. There are two ways to remove us. There's removing you, where it has to. First of all, there has to be a quorum to do that. First of all, which they don't have a quorum, which is why they're whining right now. And it has to go through the House and the Senate with quorums on both. And then they would literally need, assuming there was a quorum, which is not going to be, they would need 12 Democrats to go with them. And we'd have to be voted out by 100 members. So you need 100 for a quorum, and then you need 100 votes, and then it'd have to go to the Senate, and they need 2/3 of the Senate's, and then it would go to the governor. So that's not happening. The second way you could be removed is to be expelled, and each house can expel their members. And the way you expel someone is to have 100 people there, which, again, they don't have because we have a quorum break going, and then they'd have to have 100 people vote to expel you, which, again, they're not going to get 12 Democrats to vote to expel us. So it's an empty threat, and I ain't scared.
Very quickly, I mean, could this go to the state Supreme Court, which is majority Republicans?
The Constitution of Texas determines how we can be removed from the House and the Senate. So the governor can't trump, pun intended, the Constitution, and neither can the Attorney General. He can't trump the Constitution either. There would have to be a constitutional amendment put in the Constitution where 100 people have to vote on it in the State House, and then it would have to go to the voters of the state of Texas to change the Constitution. So I'm going to say it again. The governor should know better. He's a lawyer. The Attorney General should know better. He's a lawyer. And so, no, I'm not worried.
Well, let me ask you about some of what we're hearing from your colleagues. Your colleague, Gina Hinojosa, told us yesterday that the end game of all of this and of this exodus out of Texas is to basically get these new maps. put aside, killed forever. How do you actually make that happen, Representative Jones?
Well, so if they never get a quorum, then they don't get these maps enacted. If we manage to get all the way until the elections in 2026, they're just going to go with the current lines. So that's what you do. You don't give them a quorum.
They are fining you every day. I know that some of that may be being paid for by outside groups. Does that deter you? Does that worry you? I hear your defiance, but there's a practical piece of this as well.
So do you see this look on my face? Do I look afraid? I ain't scared. I ain't never been afraid. Okay, ever. Trump doesn't scare me. Abbott doesn't scare me. Paxton doesn't scare me. On a personal note, I was with my dad when he committed suicide, when he blew his brains out. Any day that I'm not suicidal or that someone isn't killing themselves in front of me is a good day. I have breath in me to fight, and that's exactly what I'm doing for my constituents in Houston, Texas, that deserve to elect a representative of their choice in Congressional District 18, which has been racially gerrymandered so that Black people and brown people in Houston literally can't choose a representative of their choice. And they literally took one of those seats. They did the same thing in Dallas. And you know what? I have an obligation to fight for their right to elect their representative, and specifically, but generally, we're saving America. In 2024, the Republicans racially gerrymandered in North Carolina. They stole 3 seats, and I'm going to say this again. Trump is a thief, so it doesn't surprise me that he's trying to steal the election in 2026 and steal 5 seats in Texas. And so people didn't pay attention. I don't believe it to be a coincidence that the Republicans right now in Congress have a 3-person lead, and that came from those 3 Republican seats that they created, that they stole from Democrats, and people weren't paying attention. And had those seats not been stolen, that big, ugly, nasty, terrible, racist bill would have never been passed. And had Congressional District 18 had someone in it, like me, for example, we would have voted against it and it would have failed. So there's nothing more important than saving my constituents' right to elect the representative of their choice, and tangentially to freaking save America from this despot.
Well, we're so sorry to hear about your father. We appreciate your sharing that part of your story with us and that perspective with us. Let me ask you, look, we have heard a lot of Democratic governors and politicians talk about meeting fire with fire. DNC Chair Ken Martin, for example, said Democrats are, quote, done playing by the rules. Do you want to see Democratic-led states respond in kind? California, New York, and beyond.
If California and New York
and Illinois
can make 100% Democratic congressional members, go for it. Because here's the problem with Trump. He's a bully, and he's a liar, and he doesn't respect anyone or the Constitution or democracy or us. So if that's what you want to do, you started it. We're going to finish it.
All right. State Representative Jones, thank you so much for your time today and your perspective. We really appreciate it.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.